So I start today's video not out in the country, not out in the bush, but in my carport. About a year ago, I built this sleeping platform in my Subaru Forester 2020, and it's done well. I'll give you a bit of a tour of it before it gets changed, but that's the exact reason why we're here today. We're going to bring it down basically as low as we can. It's okay once you're in there and you're sleeping, but it does feel like a bit of a coffin, and it can be pretty difficult getting in and out of it, especially in the middle of the night, you know, when you need to go to the toilet. So if you haven't seen it before, it's an extremely simple setup. It's basically just cheap formwork wood with, I believe that's also formwork wood as well. It's just the cheapest I could find at Bunnings at the time. So once we're parked up, the front seats move forward. I've only moved the passenger seat forward, and this flips out, giving us that extra length of space. This bit of wood goes in underneath it. Let's pop a bolt in. So that's all really going to stay the same. It's just these three supports here. I'm going to bring these down as much as I can, although we'll have to try and cut them on a bit of an angle in a hope of keeping this somewhat level. And then the rest of the lengths, the length I cut them to will just depend on how low I can get these ones. So obviously I will be losing my under storage, I guess. Not sure if that's a good way of saying it, but yeah, I'm just trying to improve the actual sleeping situation. The long-term plan is to get some storage for the roof, but since most of it comes out of the car once we're parked and set up and the awning gets pulled out and all that, we're going to go camping next weekend, and we're just going to see how we go. Just going to see how much we miss this under storage, because yeah, it'd be good just to have a bit more vertical space, you know. I'm not a small person. I'm glad I set this up one final time before I cut it down to size. I've noticed that the top platform overhangs the wheel wells on both sides, so I might have to cut out little notches just so they don't clash. Who says you need to get out of the city to see some nature? Okay, this is my absolutely foolproof way of trying to figure out the angle. So it looks like we're about 25 degrees, give or take. It doesn't really need to be perfect, but just enough to give the platform a fighting chance of staying level. That does not seem right. It's way too steep. Probably measuring from the wrong point. I need a 180 protractor, not a 361. I'm kind of just eyeballing this in at the moment. Oh well, what could possibly go wrong? And sorry, excuse the mess. We're sort of in the middle of transforming this outdoor space into a way we like it. We didn't even have a table until somewhat recently. Okay, no turning back now. Oh man, I wish I had big muscles. There's bits of metal. Oh my God, it's the screws holding it in. I was literally cutting through metal just then. Of course. I was like, why is there metal in there? Idiot. Well, there you go. I was just about to say I wish I had big muscles, but I literally just cut through metal. It kind of been good for this blade. Well, that looks a little bit wonky. So, see how it goes. When it sits on top of the folded down seats, they are soft, so I'm hoping everything will just sort of come out in the wash, but we'll see. I'm definitely going to unscrew those to cut them, because that was really hard. So I feel a bit moronic, but I didn't even consider the length of the screws. If I had, I was going to say I would have made that a little bit longer, but I guess I can't. Here's hoping that the length of these, you know, is longer than the length of the screws, but what I mean to say is hopefully this is longer than the length of the screw. But I mean, I guess it's possible, because otherwise I'm gonna have to go to Bunnings and buy shorter screws, and I can't be bothered with that. Okay, we'll do this one properly. That is so much easier without screws going through the middle. Can't believe I didn't consider that. Yeah, that's way off. Like way off. It's supposed to be like that. Oh my God. All right, well, back to the drawing board. Luckily I'm reducing the amount of wood, not adding onto it, so I do have a fair amount to play around with before I need to go to Bunnings and buy more. Okay, no doubt there's a much better way of doing this, but I've decided to use a bit of wood as it's much flatter than the soft fabric of the back of the seat. And yeah, we're looking actually at about 10 degrees. Maybe a little bit more, maybe, well, it's hard to tell because the edge of the wooden block is like chamfered, but I'm gonna say 10 degrees. So yeah, I was a good 15 degrees off. That's the fun in these projects, the trial and error. As you can no doubt see, I'm no master woodworker. That's pretty good. That's actually like spot on, actually. I'm pretty proud of that. Now, to hopefully just do that another 2 times and cutting the rest of the support bits should be pretty easy. Well, they're not perfect. In fact, they're far from perfect. They do vary in thickness a little bit, 1 or 2 mils here and there, but the angle is consistent, so fingers crossed it all just works out. So I've been going through my box of tricks here, and the shortest screw I found are this length, and yeah, not quite short enough. So I could glue this into position, but it really just feels like the nuclear option. I'd rather not, even though I'm probably only going to be able to put 1 screw in instead of 2. I don't know. We'll see how we go. Either way, we're going to Bunnings. Why do I feel that this is not the only time I'll be coming to this Bunnings throughout this project? It's really annoying. They changed their opening hours to 11 AM to 5 PM on Sunday. So when you rock up at midday, like I have right now, the place is just absolutely chockers. I'm parked right at the back corner of the car park. Ridiculous, but that's what happens when we let monopolies kill all the smaller hardware stores. They can just do whatever they want. There's more coming in. I just wanted to buy some ingredients to make a wrap. I can't see any smoke. He's hoping it's a false alarm, but the amount of fire engines arriving is a little bit concerning. Well, that's a wrap. I'm sorry, that was terrible. And kind of out of context. We have heaps of work to do. Oh, that's good. There's a lot of temptation working right next to my drinks fridge. So just a Coca-Cola for now. We'll save the real tinnies for when we complete, when I finish the job and we can celebrate. It didn't really look like the shops were on fire to too much of a degree. I was let in about 10 minutes after that footage I showed you of the fire engines. There was like a plastic burning smell near the reject shop. So anyway, it seems fine. I was let in about 10 minutes after I filmed that footage. Hopefully it didn't waste the fireys' time too much, because as we all know, they certainly did not get paid enough. Anyway, at Bunnings I found these screws that they're about 10 mils shorter than what I had on hand, so hopefully they'll suffice in attaching the wedge pieces at least. Yeah, let's get back to work. Well, it's not pretty, and really nothing of this construction is. There's already some holes that are in the wrong place from the first time I built this. It's holding in there pretty well, so we'll add the other two and see how it goes. Okay, so I was having trouble getting this inside of the car. It's scraping up against the wheel wells. I thought that was only going to be an issue with the other section, but this bit's scraping too, so it looks like I'll have to cut out notches on this side as well, because at the moment I can't even get it in. It needs a jigsaw. It's a good chance I actually got these notches first go. And if not, it's pretty trivial to widen them out, but yeah, it's pretty good. That sort of shows how low it's going to be, which is way lower. So now I need to figure out how tall these back supports are going to be. And they are on a slight incline as well, but I don't think I need to cut those on an angle. It's not quite as extreme as up on this end, where it sort of starts to flatten out. About there. So, looking at about, oh, this is awkward. I really need a helping set of hands for this. Can't really see the ruler either. Okay, looking at about 65 mil. I can do that. Now, I do actually own a circular saw, but because this length of wood is so short, it's really awkward to use. It's like a really just cheap Ozito or whatever circular saw. So I'm just gonna do all these by hand. And yeah, I guess it's good exercise at the very least. It's pretty level. Well, that isn't. Okay, not level on top of the flap, that's okay, but under the flap, and it will be unflapped as I'm using it. It's actually really level. I'm really impressed with myself. And better yet, because of the length, I can reuse the original screws. So hopefully, touch wood, no more Bunnings visits today, because well, it closes in a couple of hours because they've changed the hours and they're now shithouse. I actually only ended up using 2 of those wedges. The middle one didn't want to screw in for some reason, but I figured it's not actually supporting that much weight. It's really just to get it level, and then really these and all the rest are the ones that are supporting the weight. So I decided not to worry about it. Well, we're looking mighty level there. These 3 supports are cut to size. This segment is now complete. Now to cut all these to size, which should be fairly straightforward. This bit of the car here is flat. Okay, I'm going to have to saw this one to size with it still attached, otherwise the 2 halves will separate, which kind of blows, but it is what it is. Getting pretty good at this. Ah, the notch. Forgot about the notch. Bugger, I knew I was forgetting something. Still need to cut these notches out so it fits. At least I know roughly how deep to go now. These notches are going to be massive. Lucky I had a long enough ruler. Jigsaw cutter would be ideal right now, and I'm pretty sure that Annika actually has one, but I don't know where it is and she's not home right now, so we're going to have a go with the saw and I don't know, just see how we go. On the plus side, I'll be removing some wood that has these incorrect holes in them, so you have to take the little wins. So the good news is that it's really easy to saw through. The bad news, there's only so far I can saw in a straight line before the saw will get stuck because of this top lip. So it's literally impossible for me to cut more than the length of the saw. So honestly, I think I'm just going to have to suck it up, grab the circular saw and just give it a crack. I don't know how else to do it otherwise. Bloody overshot it. Still, much quicker than using the saw. It ain't pretty, but neither am I. Wow, I cut that way too much. Not exactly sure where the I'm confused. How is it so far off? Oh, this was never the same width as the first portion to begin with, of course. Oh well, it's fine. Shouldn't make a huge difference. Once I sort of roll out the mattress and that inflates, it should be fine. If not, we can we can jimmy something into place for extra support, make it even more ugly. I am worried about the mattress being too wide now. It is a car camping mattress, so it's designed to be wide where you are there at the front, and then it gets skinny where the wheel wells are. So I'm pretty sure, because when the platform was higher, it was going straight over the, sitting about here, it was going straight over the wheel wells. I always have trouble saying that. So, I don't know, should be fine. Try not to worry about it. If that is the case, we'll find a solution. We always find a solution. I didn't expect this to take so long. It's getting fairly late in the day. It's nearly 5 o'clock. Hopefully I'll be able to finish it today. I've only got a few more cuts to do. So this, thankfully, the size I've cut on that side seemed to be pretty good. I just made them 5 mils longer than the first pieces I cut, just because they look like there was about 5 mil more of a drop. This side's definitely more. Okay, so we're looking at about exactly 110 mil there. Hopefully it'll be the same on this side. No, it's more, way more. What's going on there? I'll cut that one first, screw it in, and we'll just go from there. Ladies and gentlemen, it is past 5 o'clock and I don't need to do any more cuts. The flag mantle 2026. So rapidly losing daylight, but as we can see, all the cuts are done and it's more or less level. Cosy. At the very least, it's slanting upwards a little bit, so there shouldn't be too much blood rushing to our brains as we're trying to sleep. I've cut these front supports down as well, and I've just noticed that this bolt, the through hole isn't actually big enough for the bolt to go all the way down, so I need to tweak that. I also need to tweak this corner here. It's not quite lining up, but I'm going to do that tomorrow off camera. I think for now, while we still do have a little bit of light, I'm going to roll out the mattress, make sure it still fits, and yeah, call it a day. So these are just protection mats in the hope that the mattress doesn't get popped by any of the sharp edges. They're just the cheapest yoga mats you can buy from Kmart. Jeez, squeezed this in the last time I used it. Oh, thank God, it fits. Look at that. It's almost a perfect fit. It does overhang a little bit, but not bad. Pretty good. Okay, let's give this its first test run. Oh my God, so much room. Unfortunately, I still can't quite sit up fully, which is a shame. I kind of can if I go like this. Annika will be able to sit up here and sit up. She'll be able to crawl in here and sit up is what I'm meaning to say. I did not expect this to last all day. Oh, let's just give it a good test. Oh yeah. I can feel where there's a little bit of a tweak that's needed on that side. I usually sleep on this side. Z. Not bad. This is definitely a lot more comfortable. And there's no way it can go any lower than this. Like those wedge pieces are as thin as I could make them and still be on the angle. Oh. So, just a little thing I want to add to the end of the video here for all the OGs. I watched it all the way through. Your boy is about to hit 20,000 subscribers on Brendan's Odyssey. So I will be doing a Q&A to celebrate that, but I'm not just going to do any sort of Q&A video. I'm not going to film it in my lounge room or my office or whatever. The plan is to do a full in-depth history video on the suburb of Parkerville, which is where I spent the first 20-something years of my life. It's a very historic suburb. It's probably helped a lot in forming the sort of person that I am. So yeah, I'm going to go down, well, I should go up. I'm going to go up to Parkerville, going to go to all the historic sites, go through the history of those sites while also answering questions. It's nearly time to turn the camera off. I'm exhausted. I was, in my head, I thought I'd just be able to do this in the morning. And me cutting down this platform was actually just going to be the intro for the next camping video. And then partway through, I decided just to make a full video. Why not? It's good to have for prosperity, even if no one watches it. So if you do have any questions for the Q&A, which will be coming out soon, probably in the next couple of weeks, you can ask questions right here in the comment section down below. And I will be creating a community post sooner to the filming as well. So basically I'm going to divide it up into questions first from the members. They'll get their own little section, and then followed by people who just subscribe to Brennan's Odyssey, and Brennan goes outside. The questions you ask here, it probably would be better if the questions were based around hiking and camping. And if you have more history-based questions, maybe head over to Brennan's Odyssey or the membership and ask those questions there. That way I can just sort of, you know, organize the video a bit better. Anyway, I think we're done here. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for subscribing, liking, hyping, all that shit. See you in the next video.